Hi everyone and welcome to this video which I wanted to do for a very long time. Today's class is a special class for golfers. So why is it special? I chose this sport to create a specific class for because in golf we have quite a few different challenges. On one hand we're walking quite a long time, so that's challenging for the thighs, for example, but also there's a lot of rotations in the body and especially fast rotations. So golfers need to have very flexible shoulders and try to prevent tensions in the arms and in the upper body. So let us begin with placing our hands on the knees, and we're going to start a rotation with our spine. So whenever you rotate to the front, make sure you bend your spine, and when you rotate to the back, you bend it the other direction. Try to find your own pace. You can also add the breathing to that. So one round constitutes one inhalation and one exhalation. Change direction. A few more rounds. And come back to center. We're then going to lift our arms on the inhale and exhale, twist to the side. Inhale up, exhale to the other side. One more time each side. And then we're coming back to center. From here we're going to place one hand on the side, inhale up all the way and stretch as much as you can to the side. Imagine someone is pulling you this direction, so you're really stretching the side of your body as much as you can. And with every inhale, bring more length into the side. And with the exhale, try to become comfortable with this position. 2 more breaths on this side. And come back to center. Stay here for a short while and feel the difference between the two sides of your upper body. We're going to place the hand on the other side. Inhale up and stretch all the way to the side. Two more breaths on this side. And then come back to center. From here we're going to come on all fours. Have to get some space here, even though my dog chose this spot to stay here. So we will continue with cat and cow. Make sure your hands are just underneath your shoulders and your knees are below your hip bones. So from here we're going to inhale up and bend the back on the exhale. Make sure your shoulders are stable. And also here, choose your own pace. One more time. Inhale all the way, keep your shoulders stable. And exhale, bend down. From here, we're going to hook in our toes and we come to a plank position. Maybe you want to adjust your feet so you can be just above your hands with your shoulders. And from here, we're going to shift to downward facing dog and back to plank a few times. If you feel like changing the length of your step, that's no problem. One more time. We're then going to finish in downward facing dog. Here, you can lower your heels a few times to stretch the backside of your calves and your thighs. From here, we're going to lift the left leg just with the knee and bring it forward. We don't lower the knee. Lift the leg again. You can stretch it out all the way. And the third time, we will bring the left foot to the front. So from here, we're coming up to a high crescent lunge. Make sure that your heel is lifted from the mat. So we're going to stay here and simply hold the balance. Make sure your shoulders are down. You can also keep your hands to the side. And we're just staying here for a few breaths. From here, we're going to extend to the front and get length into this entire pose. Bring your hands back down to the mat. And we're going to step back into downward facing dog. Step down with your heels a few times. And then lift your right knee. We'll bring it forward 3 times. And on the third time, place your right foot in front. And we'll come up to a high crescent lunge. We will hold this pose here for one more breath and then extend all the way to the front. Make sure your neck is relaxed. Stay here for one more breath and then lower your hands back down to the mat. We'll come to a downward facing dog. From here, lift once again your left leg and open up your chest to the side. Turn back in your hips. Bring back the foot to the mat. And we're going to shift forward to the plank for a couple of times. And back to downward facing dog. Last one. And we'll lift the right foot and open up the hips to the side. Turn back in the hips and lower the foot. And from here, from downward facing dog, we are going to walk forward to the front of the mat. From here, take a deep inhale and bring your hands in front of your heart. Take a step about hip distance apart. Shoulders are down. Going to inhale up and exhale, come down to chair pose. From here, we're going to twist to the left side. So you can place your right elbow on top of your left knee. You can really press the hands together so you can feel a twist in the spine. You have the option to stay here, or if you like, you might as well extend your arms. This will intensify the stretch in your back. I'll keep that for another breath. And then bring back the hands to prayer position. Now you're going to shift the weight slightly to your left foot and bring the right foot behind you in a lunge position. And we'll keep that for a few breaths. I'm going to bring our hands to the mat, step back into plank pose. Now we're going to shift the weight to the right hand and come into a side plank. If this is too intense for you, you can always lower one knee to have less resistance. We won't stay here for too long. Bring back your hand to the mat. In plank pose, we're shifting back to downward facing dog one time. Relax here a little bit and come back forward to the top of your mat. Let's take this sequence from the other side. Take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, we are coming into chair pose. This time, twist to the right hand side and push away your upper body by bringing your hands together. Once again, if you like, you can extend your arms all the way. And maybe you can already feel the stretch in your spine and in the entire back. Bring your hands back together. And now shift your weight a little bit more to the right foot. And step back into a lunge with your left foot. We'll hold that for another breath. And then bring your arms down to the mat. We step back into plank pose and open up to the right hand side. Exhale, bring down your hand to the mat. And one last time we will shift back into downward facing dog. You can then lower your knees and come back to the mat in a seated position. So from here we're going to extend our legs to the front and we'll slowly walk forward with our hands to a seated forward fold. If you like, you can hold on to your feet to softly pull down your upper body, but it's also totally fine if you just keep your hands on the mat, and if they're slipping back a little bit, that's just where you want to be. Feel the length in your lower back, around the sacrum, as if someone were pulling your spine all the way to the top. We're now placing the left hand on the outer edge of the right foot and we're slightly bending to the side. Stay here for one more breath. Come back up and we place the right hand on the outer edge of the left foot. And come back up to center. Now we're going to extend the right leg and cross the left foot over it. So from here, we inhale up, extend all the way up, and exhale, turn to the left. So here you can place your right elbow outside of the left knee. And you will also feel a very intense twist in your spine. If you wish to intensify that, you can also look all the way to the left across your left shoulder. We'll take one more deep inhale and twist around a little further. And on the exhale, slowly let go back to center. Let's switch side. I'm going to extend the left leg, cross the right leg over it. Inhale all the way up, extend. And exhale, turn to the right. I just felt a small crack in my back. It's nothing to worry about that when that happens. One more deep inhale. Look a little bit further. And exhale. Come back to center. The next pose we are going to train is a shoulder flexibility exercise. So for that, I'm very sorry, my dear, but I need a little bit more space. So, okay. You can come onto all fours. Now it's important that you don't change the position of your legs. They're going to stay like this. What you're going to do is walk forward with your hands so you can reach the mat with your forehead. You should already feel a stretch in your shoulders. If not, you can point your fingers and intensify the stretch a little bit. Or another option is to place your hands on a block, or even point your fingers so you can feel an intense stretch in your shoulder. Slowly come out of the pose by bringing your hands down from the block back to all fours. So from here we're going to mobilize the shoulders once again. We're going to lift the right arm all the way up, and on the exhale reach under. 4 times each side. Come back to center and feel for a moment the difference between the two sides. We're then going to shift to the left side. So inhale up to the left, exhale, reach under. Inhale up, exhale, reach under. One last time. And come back to center. So from here, I'm going to change on our back once again, and we have one last stability exercise. For golf, it's very important that we have strong core muscles. So this we're going to train with the next exercise. Make sure you really sit on your hip bones. We're then going to bend back, lift up the legs. If you're a beginner, you can hold on to your knees, that's perfectly fine. Or if you like, you can extend your arms to the side. If you prefer the more challenging version, you can also stretch out your legs if you like. We're just going to hold this for a few breaths. And on the next exhale, slowly bring down your feet to the mat. And we're going to prepare for Shavasana. So, vertebrae by vertebrae, roll down to your mat. Maybe you want to lift up your shoulders again, your hips again, to really have all the points of your body balanced. And then you place your hands on the side, palms facing up to the sky, and extend your legs. Take a moment now to focus on your breath, and only on your breath, and feel how the breath is becoming slower as you don't move anymore, and just focus on yourself. We're going to take a moment now in silence, come back to our body, and close this practice. we are at the end of today's practice. So I hope you enjoyed this special yoga class for golfers. I hope it matches your needs. And if you've enjoyed the class, I would love if you give it a thumbs up. And I hope to see you soon again on my channel here. Now it's time to thank yourself and your body for today's practice. So bring your hands in front of your heart and then to your forehead, and let's bow forward together for a namaste. Thank you very much.